Welcome all my dear students to Sudharma's Physics Classroom. Our public exam is coming in March and I hope all of you are preparing really well for the exam. And when it comes to the public exam preparations, it is very important to practice or solve the previous year's question papers. Why it is important? Because we come to know what are the types of questions we can expect in our exam and what is a pattern of questions we can expect in our exam. So if you practice it with the time limit, you will be able to answer better in your exam. Okay, so it's important to practice the question paper with time limit. So in today's class I will be discussing the answers of 2020 SSLC exam for physics. So for Malayalam medium students, I have kept a separate class discussing the complete question answers of 2020 exam. So I'll be giving the link in the description box. Malayalam medium students can refer that. So let's get into our question paper. So it's a really easy question paper actually. So this is how the question paper looks. See, this is taken from the real question paper. So there are four sections. So we are entering into the first section now. Section A, answer any four questions. Each question carries one score. That means 1 mark for each question. Without delaying, I am entering into the first question. The radius of curvature of a convex mirror is 24 centimeter. Convex mirror, radius of curvature is 24. What is its focal length? We all know that R is equal to 2F for a mirror. So F will be equal to R by 2. So R is given as 24 divided by 2, and here comes our answer 12 centimeter, and it is there in the option. So 1 mark easily gone, right? Easily we get that 1 mark. Now the magnetic field around a current carrying conductor AB is given in the figure. Based on Maxwell's right hand screw rule, find the direction of the current through the conductor. We all know how to apply Maxwell's right-hand screw rule. It is used to find out the direction of magnetic field around a straight current carrying conductor. So here the question is asked in a different way. So what is the difference in this question? They have given the direction of magnetic field. So we have to find out the direction of current. So we just have to keep our fingers. Basically, if you are applying the right hand thumb rule here, even though the question is Maxwell's right hand screw rule, we know that even right hand thumb rule can be applied. So Maxwell's right hand screw rule, if you are putting the right hand screw in the direction of current, the direction in which you rotate the screw, that gives you the direction of magnetic field. So you have to write, you have to make sure you are rotating the screw, right hand screw in the direction of this magnetic field shown here. So you will come to see that the direction of current will be from A to B. Now moving on to the third question. Which of the following figure represent the critical angle? Critical angle comes in our total internal reflection concept. And we know that when the angle of incidence is equal to the critical angle, the angle of refraction in the rarer medium is going to be 90 degrees. So among these diagrams, diagram B, right? So answer is B because its angle of refraction is 90 degree here, right? So light traveling from medium 2 to medium 1. So angle of refraction is 90 degree, or the refracted ray moves along the interface, that gives the critical angle. And diagram C is actually representing the total internal reflection because it is exceeding the critical angle. So it is undergoing total internal reflection. So our question is, which one represent the critical angle? So answer is B. Moving on to the fourth question. The order of various colors observed in the spectrum of sunlight is given below. Choose the correct order. So how do you answer this question? All of you know that the order is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, vibgeo, right? So we have to choose from the options given. So be very careful while choosing the option. Blue, violet, green, red. No, because blue comes after violet. So that is not. Violet, blue, yellow, red. It comes in that order, but still we have to read all four options when it is a multiple choice question. violet, yellow, but blue is in between that, so we can eliminate C. Green, yellow, orange, up to that is order is correct, but again we are bringing blue. So D is also wrong. So here the answer is B, violet, blue, yellow, red. Fifth question is, write any two products obtained while coal is distilled in the absence of air. So when coal is distilled in the absence of air, we can say that coal tar, coke, etc. will be produced. Even coal gas will be produced. Any two you have to write. Okay. So among those 5 questions, you are expected to write 4 answers, because any 4 answers. And here comes our section B. So here also we have more questions, and we will have to answer only 4 questions, but the difference is each question carries 2 marks to score. So here we have to think and write. Be very careful in answering. The following table is prepared for comparing the properties of resistances in different combinations. Rearrange the contents in each column to match them properly. So we can see that there is a series combination and there is a parallel combination. So we have to see it is mismatched. Okay. So you may see the numbers here because I've taken from the real question paper. Some students have written that. So never mind about that. So we will write the correct answer here. So you don't have to worry about these markings. So effective resistance of the circuit in a series combination, it will not decrease, it will be increasing. This is the answer you're going to write, increases. Voltage across each resistor. So they have given same and different, right? So voltage across each resistor in the case of a series connection is different. Current through each resistor is same, that's correct. Now, parallel combination, effective resistance of the circuit, it will not increase in a parallel combination, it will decrease. It will decrease. And voltage across each resistor. Voltage across each resistor is same in the case of parallel combination, and current through each resistor is different. So here is your answer. If you write these changes, you will get full mark, that is 2 marks. Going to the 7th question. Write any 2 methods to provide first aid in the case of electric shock. So basically, if there is a person suffering from electric shock, so first of all, we have to make sure the person is not touching the body which caused that electric shock, because otherwise his body will be acting like a conductor and we will also get electric shock if we go and touch that person. So we have to ensure that. So once it is ensured, that is a safety precaution, but the question is about first aid. So uh, you can just make sure proper blood circulation is there in his body by massaging him properly, or you can give the person a very strong massage so that there is blood circulation. And if possible, and if he's facing any difficulty in breathing, try to give artificial breathing. So these are the first aid you can provide for a person in case of electric shock. So you get 2 marks easily from this area also. Now comes the 8th question. A conductor AB is placed in a magnetic field as shown in figure. If you are moving the conductor outward, then what will be the direction of current in the conductor? And in an if an electric current passes from A to B, then which direction the conductor will move? Inwards the magnet or outward the magnet? So, which rule we have to apply here? There is a horseshoe magnet and there is a current carrying conductor. If you are moving the conductor outward, the motion of the conductor is outward, then what will be the direction of current in the conductor? So the conductor AB moves outward, there is a magnetic field, right? So there is a magnetic field inside, see, from north to south, that is the direction of magnetic field. So in which direction we have to allow the current to flow through if this situation has to happen. So the answer for question A is from B to A. So you have to apply Fleming's left hand rule. So hope all of you remember the Fleming's left hand rule. So when you apply that, you get the answer as B to A. Now B. If an electric current passes from A to B, then in which direction the conductor will move? If the current is, so here we have already seen that we got the current is from B to A. If the electric current passes from A to B, then in which direction the conductor will move? So when the conductor is, if the conductor is moving outward, and then the direction of current is from B to A, right? So what happens now? It is again in this case also we will be getting the answer as outwards the magnet. Okay, electric current passes from A to B. Then in which direction the conductor will move? So the conductor will be moving outwards the magnet. Okay, so that is the answer here. Now coming to the ninth question, we have to mark the positions. Write the name of the parts labeled as A and B. So A is the armature, and B is the split ring. So this is the DC motor. What are the changes to be made so as to convert this device into an AC generator? What are the changes to be made so as to convert this device into an AC generator? See, one thing is, one problem with this question is, this is a DC motor, but the question is how to convert it into an AC generator. Basically, we cannot convert a motor into a generator, but structural similarities are there. What do you mean by structural similarities? If you check the Malayalam medium question paper, you can see they clearly say that the structural difference. Okay, what structural difference? But here it is not mentioned. Because what are the changes? So what are the changes in the structure we can make? We know that in a AC generator, the split ring is not used. So you can, instead of that, you can use slip rings. Make sure there are slip rings connected instead of the split ring. So you can use slip ring instead of split ring. So you will be getting the structure of a AC generator. So that's about question number 9 and question number 10. Write reason for the twinkling of stars in the sky. So what do you mean by twinkling of stars? Why the stars are twinkling? The key word expected in this answer is atmospheric refraction. Atmospheric refraction. And this is a 2-mark question. So you know how to write for a 2-mark question. So when the light travels from the stars to the observer, the different layers of the atmosphere has different refractive indices because of the change in temperature. So the bending of light, by the time it reaches the observer, the light will be bending many times, and for the observer, it looks like flickering or it looks like twinkling. So the main reason is atmospheric refraction. Now coming to the section C. Again, any 4 questions, each question carries 3 scores. Okay. So in the previous questions, we have seen each one carries 2 marks, and in the first set it was 1 mark. Now it is 3 marks. So here comes the question. Specification of 2 electrical heaters are given below. 2 heaters are given. Resistance 690 ohm and resistance 460 ohm. Working voltage for both are the same. So based on this, we have to answer these questions. Which heater require a fuse of higher amperage? How do you calculate the amperage? Amperage I is equal to voltage divided by resistance. So higher amperage. So for both we have the same voltage. That means current is inversely proportional to resistance. So if you need higher amperage fuse, the one which is allowing more current flow through it is going to be the one which is having less resistance. So answer is going to be heater B, because it has low resistance. Okay, so both will be allowing, both are supplied by 230 volt, and heater B has 460 ohms, and that is lowest resistance among these two. Since current and resistance are inversely proportional, heater B will have higher amperage. Now, which of the heaters generate more heat when they work for 5 minutes under the same voltage rating? Explain reason. Which of the heaters generate more heat when they work for 5 minutes under the same voltage? We have the heat energy H is equal to, I know the direct equation coming into your mind is the joules heating H equals I squared RT. We are not going with that equation here because here we have the voltage is common. Current is not given here. Either you can calculate the current and find it out, but this is just 2-mark question. You just need to explain it. Definitely, if it was a 4-mark question, you are expected to solve it and show it. But with reason, we can explain here. H is equal to V square by R into T, because I'm using the equation H is equal to power into time. So power, we have 3 equations. So in that, one of the equations is V square by R. So why I'm choosing this equation here? It's because both has the same voltage, V, 230 volt. So V square by R into T. So V and T are the same, right? For both the bulbs, both heaters, voltage and time given in the question is same, 5 minutes. Both are used for 5 minutes. So which one will generate more heat energy? So here again, heat is inversely proportional to resistance provided the voltage is constant. Okay, so the one which is having less resistance will be heated up more. So again, the answer is heater. Both the answers are heater B. Question number 12. Two rays of light OA and OB are coming from an object O. It is falling obliquely on the surface of a plane mirror as shown. Draw a ray diagram indicating the image formation. Write any two properties of the image formed in this case. So all of you know how to draw the ray diagram of a plane mirror. Hope all of you have practiced it. This is a very easy question. So here is our object. I'm just drawing it freehand. You can draw it using a scale. So this is our first ray. It get reflected back. So what we do, we just extend it backward. Now another one. So that also get reflected back as per the laws of reflection. Then we extend it backward. So we get the image here. Okay. So image will be, this is how we trace the image. So we have to mark A, B. Positions are marked. Normal has to be marked. Now, write any two properties of the image formed in this case. So this is a plane mirror image formation. So what are the properties of image formed by a plane mirror? Same size. It is of same size. Virtual image, erect image. They just asked only two properties. You can just write any two. Okay. Now coming to the next question. This is a very important question. A ray of light falling obliquely from air to glass is shown in figure. Find out the angle of incidence. We know that angle of incidence is angle between the incident ray and the normal. And as per this question, this is going to be the angle of incidence. But how do we calculate? 30 degrees given. 30 degrees angle between the glass surface and the incident ray. But angle of incidence, I is angle between incident ray and the normal. So this is going to be 90 minus 30. That is nothing but 60 degrees. Angle of incidence is 60 degrees. Why the angle of refraction is less than that of angle of incidence in this case? Why it is less? We have seen angle of incidence is 60 degree and angle of refraction is 33 degrees. It is much less than the angle of incidence. What would be the reason? So then we know that this light is entering from air to glass. So Glass has more refractive index. The optical density of glass is greater than the optical density of air. So when the medium has more optical density or more refractive index, the refraction will be more or the bending will be more, the ray will be bending more towards the normal. So that is what is happening here. So you can write the important word you can use here is glass has more refractive index than air. How can you calculate the refractive index of the material of this slab? Calculation not required. So refractive index is equal to, as per Snell's law of refraction, mu is equal to sin I by sin R. Mu or n, whichever letter you are comfortable with, you can write it. Refractive index is equal to sin I by sin R. Sin of I is 60 and sin R, sin 33. That is why they have told calculation not required, because we don't know how to calculate sin 33. We know the standard angle values, but sin 33 we don't know, right? So you can just leave the answer here. Calculation is not required. It's told very specifically. Coming to the question number 14. So we can skip this question for the time being because this is not given for the syllabus of 2021 as per the focus point. This is our human eye chapter. That chapter is completely, that part of that chapter is completely uh, eliminated. Okay, so just leave it for 2021 students. So not required. Now coming to the 15th question. What will be the marking on a cooking gas cylinder that has a maturity period up to March 2020? The student who has written this exam has written the answers, but I don't normally suggest writing this in the question paper, especially when you are in the exam hall. But marking what is written, that is fine. Okay, what will be the marking on a cooking gas cylinder that has a maturity period up to March 2020? So this comes in that energy management chapter. Hope you have seen the class of energy management. So in the beginning months of a year, the letter given is A, and the number we have to provide after that is the last two digits, that is 2020. So 2020. So 20 is the number. So A20 will be the number given for a cylinder that has a maturity period up to March 2020. So you can expect the question can be up to March 2021, right? So then it will be A21, or May, then it will be B. Okay. Now, write any two precautions to be taken to avoid accidents due to LPG leakage. So, to avoid accidents due to LPG leakage, we know that LPG has that smell, right? So we add ethyl mercaptan to that LPG gas, but to avoid the leakage, that's the question. To avoid the leakage, what can be done? So the first thing you can do is check the tube and the regulator on a regular basis, and whenever you open, when you are going to cook using the stove, what you have to do is open the knob of the stove only after opening the regulator. If you are opening the knob of the stove before opening the regulator, what happens? We are not aware how much gas is going, and it is not at all used, and it spreads into the room and it causes accident. So always open the knob of this stove only after opening the regulator. That is another precaution you can take to avoid accidents due to LPG leakage. And what do you say? Even if there is leakage, if there is, suppose there is leakage, do not switch on any electrical appliances nearby, because even a small spark can cause a disaster. So be very careful while dealing with LPG. Question number 18. Again, this is a 3-mark question. Two stages of experiment conducted with a solenoid and a magnet is given below. Magnet shown in figure A and figure B are stationary magnet and a moving magnet respectively. That means magnet A, figure A it is stationary, figure B it is moving. In which stage the galvanometer deflects? So in which stage the galvanometer deflect. Which stage the galvanometer will be deflecting here? Because there is electromagnetic induction taking place, right? When electromagnetic induction takes place, we know that there is a relative motion. Relative motion of either the magnetic field or the coil is required. So, in which stage the galvanometer deflects? So, the galvanometer will be deflecting in the case B. So, we can write B as the answer. Explain the reason for this deflection in galvanometer with the help of scientific principle you have learned. So, what is this scientific principle behind this phenomenon? It is electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. So, what is electromagnetic induction? Whenever there is a change in the magnetic flux associated with a coil, there will be induced current in the circuit. So, that is called as electromagnetic induction. Write any two devices that works on this principle. Write any two devices that works on this principle. So, you can write any two devices. Basically, you can write a generator and a transformer. Transformer, it is mutual induction, but it's again the basic property is electromagnetic induction. Generator, or even you can write moving coil microphone. Moving coil microphone. So why the galvanometer in B is deflecting? Because there is a relative motion between the magnetic field and the conductor or the coil. Moving on to the next question. So explain the scientific reason behind the phenomena given below. This is question number 17. The path of sunlight is visible in a misty morning. The path of sunlight is visible in a misty morning. That is because of Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect. Now, Tyndall effect, and even you can mention scattering of light, because the Tyndall effect causes that scattering. So scattering also, that is also fine here. Because of that Tyndall effect, the scattering of the particles, that scattering of light will be even. All the colors will be scattered in a uniform way, and we will be seeing the path of the beam of light very clearly. Newton's color disk appears white when rotated fast. So why we are observing that as white color is because of persistence of vision. Persistence of vision. Persistence of vision. And what principle it is showing there? It's the recombination of colors. So you can write the Newton's color disk recombination of colors in the composite light, white light. So Newton's color disk has all the 7 colors of white light. So when it is rotated really fast, our eye will be perceiving it as white color, because when all the 7 colors combine together, it will form white light, and we observe it as white light because of the persistence of vision. Now, the rising and setting sun appears red. That's again because of scattering of light. So you have to explain scattering, okay? Explain the scientific reason behind the phenomena given below. So rising and setting sun appears red because during sunrise and sunset, the light has to travel a large distance to reach the observer. So what happens when it takes much time to reach the observer? All the lower wavelength region of the light will be scattered, and the remaining color will be the higher wavelength region, that is a reddish region of the spectrum. That is why we are seeing the sun as red in color. A person can see far object and near object clearly. This is not coming in our syllabus, but I'm not leaving only one question here because it's a part of a single question, right? So the phenomenon is called as power of accommodation. Power of accommodation is a property of our human eye. Now coming to the question number 18. There are two circuits given. Analyze the circuits P and Q. In which circuit the resistor get the same voltage? So when you analyze the circuit, actually both the circuits will be getting, the resistors will be getting the same voltage, because R1 and R2, they are equal in series connection and in parallel connection. But what the expected answer is circuit Q. Because we know that in a parallel connection, the voltage given is equal. For all the resistors, the voltage given will be equal. That is what is expected here. Even if you write both, right, both the circuits, the voltage is given, because we have to answer as per the given diagram, in which circuit the resistors get same voltage. So same voltage in the sense, here in the parallel combination both will be getting 10 volt, but in series combination both will be getting 5 volt each, because it is divided, voltage is divided. Now calculate the voltage across resistor R2 in the circuit. Calculate the voltage across resistor R2 in circuit P. How do we calculate it? One method is, we know that it is series connection and total we have 10 volt. So it will be divided equally, 5 volt and 5 volt. But if you have to show it mathematically, so total resistance R series is equal to 100 plus 100, that is equal to 200 ohms. And current I in the circuit, total current I is equal to V divided by RS. V is 10 volt and R series is 200. So it's going to be 1 by 20 amperes. Now what happens? Now we have to find the voltage across R2. V across R2 is equal to I into R2. I is 1 by 20 and R2 is 100. So 100 by 20, we will be getting 5 volt. This way also we can prove it. We can get that. Now, question C. If current due to the applied EMF is flowing through these circuits for a time t is equal to 5 minutes, which circuit will produce more heat energy? Explain. So, voltage, total voltage given is 10 volt for both. So, in a series connection, we have more resistance, right? When there is more resistance, the current is going to be less. Okay, so we can write in a series connection, more resistance is there, so less current. Okay, so less current in the sense, we know H equals I squared RT. So the more proportionality is for current, because square relation is there. So less heat, less current, less heat. In a parallel connection, what happens? Parallel connection, less resistance, more current, so more heat. So which will produce more heat energy? So we can go with the parallel connection, because it produces more heat, it has less resistance, more current and more heat energy. Moving on to the 19th question. Observe the figure and answer the following questions. B1 and B2 are identical bulbs. Identical means they have similar, all the properties same. So there is a soft iron core, there is a cell of 9 volt, a bulb B1 and a switch in the first connection, and there is another bulb B2 in the second coil. Which bulb will glow in the circuit? Which bulb will glow? So which bulb will glow in the circuit? Here basically the 9 volt DC source is connected to bulb B1. So B1 will be glowing. Now, if the battery in the circuit is replaced by an AC source of same voltage, what change can be observed in the working of the bulbs? Explain reasons for this change. So, uh, in the first case, see, if the battery in the circuit is replaced by an AC source of the same voltage, what change can be observed? So AC, we know that it is a current which constantly, periodically changes the direction and magnitude of current. So initially the brightness of B1 will decrease because of self-induction, and B2 will be glowing continuously. So we have to explain the answer. So answer is brightness of B1 will decrease because of self-induction, and B2 will be glowing continuously. And the explanation for that is when AC passes through this coil 1, there will be change in the magnetic flux. So whenever there is a change in magnetic flux, induced current will be produced there. So there will be a mutual induction. There are two coils, right? So there will be mutual induction. So this induced current in the secondary coil will be making that bulb B2 to glow. Okay, so the induced current, the mutual induction will cause the bulb B2 to glow. Here comes the last question of this question paper. So we have to define four terms. So here you will get 4 marks. Optic center, center of curvature, principal focus of a convex lens, focal length of a concave lens. So what do you mean by optic center of a lens? In terms of a lens, optic center, the point on the lens where a ray of light passes undeviated, right? If the ray of light passes through the lens and if it is passing undeviated, that point is called as the optic center of the lens. Center of curvature. We know that the refracting surface is part of a sphere, a spherical refracting surface. So that sphere will have a center. So that center is called as a center of curvature. Hope all of you have learned the definition of all these things. Principal focus of a convex lens. Principal focus of a convex lens. If a ray of light passes parallel to the principal axis, after refraction from the lens, it converges to a point on the principal axis. So that point is called as the principal focus of a convex lens. Focal length of a concave lens. Concave lens focal length. No matter it is concave lens or convex lens, the distance between the optic center and the focus, right? The distance between the optical center and the focus of the lens is called as the focal length of a concave lens. So when you explain or define all these things, you're going to get 4 marks. So when you analyze this question paper, we can understand that it is not difficult. One or two twisted questions were there, but if you have read the chapter properly, you can answer all these questions very well. So hope this year question paper also will be similar to this or more easier than this because you have a lot of options this year. And still we have to practice more and more questions. So in the coming class, we will be discussing the 2019 question paper. We'll be discussing the solution of 2019 question paper. So you get more questions from that also. So if you're watching this channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for more updates. Till the exam, I will be discussing the previous year question papers with you. That will be really beneficial for you. Okay. So if you have any doubts, please put it in the comment box. So see you soon with 2019 question paper discussion. Thank you for watching. Bye.